Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast. Today we're on episode 142, and unfortunately we are not joined by Aaron Barton from Proxima Jornada as he is not feeling too well. So we just hope he feels better and hope he gets the rest, and we'll probably do one with him next week or the week after. But of course, as always, we have the main man, Chris. Man, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, we got two very, very interesting games to talk about. A lot of content to dissect, and yeah, mixed feeling. I'm feeling mixed about everything, and also feel better, Aaron.
Yes, of course. And I'm your host, as always, Sam Fonseca. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. That's on the screen there. We're going to kick off with definitely the most controversial topic, and that's definitely over the last week. You know, everyone's been talking about it, even mainstream news. So let me get up the tab, and that is Bruno Carvalho getting expelled from the Big Brother house. Chris, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just my true take on all of this is that I think that they're doing him dirty, and I think it's a trap that you would think people would have maybe learned from the first trap that they may have been tricked into, but obviously this is incredibly less significant. But I just honestly want for the man to be able to live like a normal life, and it just seems impossible, bro. It seems impossible. It seems like he's just got too many people out for him that he just can never do anything.
Yeah, definitely. I feel bad for the guy, but he seems to be enjoying life. He's a DJ now. I can see he's got a gig in Lisbon, I think, as early as next weekend. So, I mean, hopefully, he'll probably get brushed under the carpet and no one will really remember this guy, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't think he should be held accountable legally or anything like that. I think they're playing a fucking TV game show. I think that kind of gets lost in the conversation. Which, the man is perfect for reality TV, and they still do it dirty.
Yeah. All sarcasm aside, the actual main talking point to get onto is the Sporting vs Porto game. Obviously, you can see there a bunch of yellow and reds, which we'll get into. But first, let's talk about the actual game. So, as you can see, in goal, we had Adan in net. We had Coates, Inacio Fadal, Esgaio coming in for a suspended Pedro Porro, Matheus Rice, Matheus Nunes, Ugarte, who was surprisingly, I think, got the starting spot over João Paulinho, Pablo Sarabia, Nuno Santos, and Paulinho getting one of the goals, Nuno Santos getting the other. Chris, I mean, disappointing considering we're 2-0 up, but what were your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's a game that's littered with Casus all over. Just like putting all of those aside, I feel like the game itself, I definitely feel like going up 2-0 as early as we did, we're certainly fortunate. Porto definitely came into the game with more gas. Porto honestly could have scored in the first 5 minutes. Maybe it's a different game. Paulinho has a chance. They turn the ball over in the 5th minute, and Paulinho actually has a great look on goal. These games are always weird, but yeah, I mean, maybe you could say that one goal was, maybe we deserved one goal, but I think going in 2-1 up at half, being up one goal was maybe fair, maybe a little undeserved, maybe it should have been tied. But I mean, as far as the ref and everything, the second half was obviously immediately tainted because of the red card, which came in the 48th minute. I mean, that pretty much set Sporting in the way that they were going to play the rest of the game, which was obviously more conservative, more defensively, up 2 goals because of 2 great breaks in the first half. Now we're down to 10 men. We're on the road. Let's see if we can hold out. And they nearly did, but just not enough. Not enough in the end. I don't like I guess we can analyze like each individual Kazu, like the biggest ones at least. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, João Pinheiro was out of his element. Obviously, like that type of atmosphere, the coaches, the way they are, there's pressure on him, you know?
Yeah. I think, like you said, up until that the red card or second yellow, it was all. I thought we were strong. I thought definitely in the first 10 minutes, I thought Porto looked better than us. They had like 3 opportunities on goal.
Hmm.
Lucky 2 big saves from Dan in sort of the first 5 minutes. And I think like I love Paulinho. I've not made that a secret, but I think in big games he definitely does step it up. I think ever since Slimani's come in as well, he's probably a reason why he stepped up too. And I think he had a great performance. Nuno Santos as well. I thought he was fantastic. Especially from Pot being injured, for Nuno Santos to come in and score that goal. Like I thought that was game done, obviously up until the second yellow. But in terms of basically the game before the 55th minute, which I think was when Coates got sent off, we played fantastically. I didn't see any major concerns. I thought Ugarte came in and held his own. I thought
Other than conceding 2 minutes after we score the second goal, it's always frustrating to concede right after you score. But Fabio Vieira cut us up, played a great through ball, got it back, first time, bottom corner. I mean, it's a great goal.
Yeah, that was one goal you could look at and it's like it's not really anyone's fault. It's just like he's going to shoot and he's going to score. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen one way or another. It wasn't anyone to blame. I thought Esgaio, for much shit he gets on Twitter, he had a solid game up until even then I still thought he was good. But yeah, I think we should probably. I'll try and find the pictures the best I can to talk about.
I feel like a lot. If you're listening at this point, I feel like you know a lot of these incidents. Like I've seen the Coates yellow cards. I probably watched them like each 30 times. There's an Eva Nilsson. There's actually an Eva Nilsson dive in the 10th minute when Gonçalo Inácio was clearing the ball. That Ojogo actually on the cover said Tribunal Unanim should be a penalty. And I'm looking at this play and I'm just like, no, there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
V Sports has all the Kazus if you want to go through and like look at them individually. Mateus Reis's yellow card in the first minute. Looking back on Mateus Reis's yellow, I'm like, oh my God, we're getting a yellow within 30 seconds. But he's coming so recklessly.
That was 100% a yellow card. Yeah.
He's extended his arm into the back of his head. I mean, it's a yellow card, even though it's within 30 seconds.
That and obviously the first yellow against Whites was never a yellow card.
No. And the more you watch it, the more you think that it should be a yellow card on Taremi, even. And
even with red, we've seen Tabata and Briganza be sent off for standing on opponents. I'm not saying what Taremi did was deliberate by any means, because it wasn't. You could tell it wasn't. But got to keep up with the standard refereeing. But I have said, even when it was Porto versus the Real, I said if you're going to put if a defender puts a hand on a player's back or tugs his arm as he's through, that's always a yellow card, especially in this league. And I think Coates should have known better. I'm not saying it's his fault, but he should have known better being on a yellow card. Evan Nilsson was through, but he wasn't through on goal. We still had Vidal and I think it was Vidal and it might be Vidal and Esgaio on either side. So I don't think it's going to be a guaranteed goal. But that was definitely a second yellow. But the first one was never.
It's still a soft yellow, but it's on par for this league, you know.
Yeah, it's saying that pretty much happens every game. The second one, I guess, what would you say was in chronological order? It goes Coates and then Matthews race with the middle finger to Conceição.
Yeah, the middle finger was probably after. It was definitely after Coates.
Yeah,
he's lucky to finish the game, and Pep is lucky to finish the game. Pep ended up getting sent off after the game, but my man could have definitely been sent off during the game. I don't know how he hasn't been sent off in like for a club in over a decade. That's like seems inconceivable. He hasn't played in Portugal all those years either, you know?
Yeah. And so thing is, Matthias writes, they said he has not got a suspension yet. They are still reviewing and seeing if it is.
He will be. If you get suspended for grabbing your nuts, you definitely get suspended for doing that. And also, a Guimarães player did that and got suspended. Yeah, he's getting a game or two, like for sure.
Yeah, but whenever that happens, because they said Nuno Santos' one, I think it was 3 weeks ago now, where he put where he swore at Everton on TV, and you could tell what he was saying. Still under review, as well. But
that one's got to be on the back burner now.
I feel like they'll come in some way and just be like, oh yeah,
that could be one of the ones that comes in like a year.
Yeah, exactly. And think about the Paulinho one that's just come through as well. It doesn't take any time at all to come by. And let me get I've just got an image. I wanted to get your takes on it, which was the Pepe incident, which sort of sparked the mass brawl at the end. I'll see if I can get the right.
Oh, what a play by João Paulinho to save the game, to save our season.
Yeah, right there.
He doesn't kick him in the face. I've watched it so many times. He does not kick him in the face. He kicks the ball. It's a great play. So if you want this to be a foul, the only foul it could be is obstruction. So indirect free kick from like the 1 yard line.
Yeah. So it's not a high foot, because this is what I disagreed with. Porto fans were saying high foot, but like bicycle kicks are high foots then.
It's a professional player. That's the most annoying call in soccer is a high boot, especially when you just bring your foot up to settle the ball down and there's like not really anyone that close to you. It's like,
what is he supposed to do? What, just let Pepe header it? Because he can't go.
Yeah, he's just supposed to let him score, dude. He's supposed to let him score.
And yeah, after that pretty much.
And then when he's obviously Pep is still laying there on the ground for like a couple minutes, and eventually someone goes over and is like, get the fuck up, and then he's involved, all of a sudden. But his actions to Hugo Viana were out of control, dude. He was actually out of control in that moment. Hugo Viana did not really do anything. He just kind of happened to cross paths with him at the wrong moment. If that was someone else, he would have just done the same thing to them too. The difference is Hugo Viana is going to give it back a little bit. He's not just going to take it. The whole reason Hugo Viana's out there is to get inside the fracas. Hugo Viana's a guy that enjoys getting in there. He's a former player. Like he's into this shit.
Laugh as well. I think it was Carlos Fernandez before the corner was even taken.
Carlos Fernandez was in the field, bro.
Yeah,
he was on the field giving instructions to Adan. That was absurd.
I mean, it was funny, but I was like, well, what are you doing over there?
Yeah. Remember when Nelson Pereira did that for Rui Patricio? He like went behind the goal and was like telling him which way the PK was gonna go or whatever.
Yeah.
That was that, but even more extreme because he was like literally in the field.
Yeah.
He pretended like he was like part of the medical team, and went over with them to like tend to Fidal, and then he's like giving instructions to Adan. I mean, good try, but
I forgot to mention, okay, this is a big point as well. If you weren't aware, people listening or watching, we hosted a space, 10 minutes after, if that?
Yeah, maybe a little 20, like right after.
Yeah, we had one of my friends who's a Sporting fan, Diogo, came in, and he did a lot of the talking. A Porto friend of mine called Jose came in, that did a lot of the talking. From out of nowhere, a senior marketing official in communications for Sporting came in and started shouting at my friend Diogo because he said we played anti-Jogo towards the end, which is 100% true. If you even watch Fidal in the end, he goes off the pitch and comes back on.
There's no shame, man. Yeah, we're trying to shithouse the fucking result. We have 10 men. Yeah, it's okay to just admit things that are true.
He started like proper screaming at Diogo, and Diogo was like, "Why are you talking to me like that?" And then the guy
that was crazy
with the
Rodrigo Roquette.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the one. And I'm not sure if you heard it at the time, but he actually called us Sporting Lisbon instead of Sporting Club Portugal as well. So
Who, Rodrigo?
yeah, so this big communications director.
Dude, that's the translation, I guess, right? I don't know. Is that what that means?
But like at one point, I think we had 180 people in that.
Yeah,
squad.
no, it was popping at a certain point.
And that was when he joined. I'm like, I'm basically just saying that. Obviously this is not a bash on the administration, but that is so unprofessional. Like if that is any other job in the world, like imagine like
Bro, that literally
director
that is his
in any other
job
company.
though. Like he's doing the thing that he's paid to do amazingly by doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
mean,
just hopping. He was hopping because there was probably like 4 spaces like that I saw, at least like sporting ones, like bigger ones. And he was just going from one to the other. So do you like if you were in other spaces, like let us know if Rodrigo Arquette was just like shouting at people he disagreed with.
Yeah, and like the funny thing, it didn't shout at the Porto fan who was there, because I will say one thing, and this isn't like to big us up, but I saw some of the other spaces. It was actually just all Sporting fans. We had, I think, 3 Porto fans at one point. We had Jose and a guy called Miguel and someone else. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Like we were open. We weren't just like, oh yeah, Sporting this, Sporting this, Sporting this. We were quite. We didn't have any hidden agendas, as people like to say. But I thought that was good to have that open conversation, and that's why Aaron Barton was going to be here, because obviously he's a neutral. He doesn't support anyone in the Portuguese league, so he'd just come in and give a neutral perspective, because this was a big thing. I saw it on English news, American news. This was worldwide. Like,
you don't usually see like an extended brawl like that with that many Reds. Like you don't see it that much.
What was crazy as well, if you think
Usually
about
gets diffused.
Yeah, if you think about it, Nuno Santos is a prime candidate to get sent off anywhere. Nothing. Like, I'm not saying he should have got one, by the way. Sergio Conceição was the fucking peacemaker. You go back and I'll give him the credit. He was telling his players to go away. So was Amorim. Like,
he's suing Fernandes for what? Slander?
Yeah, because he's saying
that he was saying that he was part of the entourage that waited for him or chased him down to the tunnel and spiked his phone and wallet, as he says.
The quote-unquote Porto Mafia, Victor Bahia, the guy who got
the Porto TV guy.
Rui Correa?
Yeah, something like that. Carceta, something like that.
Yeah. And there's one guy who Tabata chokeslammed, which I can't remember his name.
Oh, yep, the bald guy, cul-de-sac guy.
Yes, that was it. Oh yeah, and on top of everything, so we alluded to it. Tabata gets sent off for. In my defense, and obviously I'm going to be a bit biased, I saw that Porto guy choke Inacio first, hands around the throat.
And we want to talk about players with reputation. Nuno Santos, player with reputation. This dirigente from Porto is always at the center of these types of things, man. Like, he's a reputation dirigente in my eyes.
Yeah, and Tabata's got a dirty player. I know he's got a red card here or there, like this season, but nothing about it was dirty.
Unlucky, really, for him on those.
Yeah, and then so that sparked a mass brawl between, I think it was Otavio and like the securities, and this is what is crazy, and this is pretty much what made news. I'm going to see if I can find a screenshot of it. We had the stewards or the match ball people, ball boy, whatever. One of them threw a chair, a literal chair, at Matheus Nunes, which is absolutely crazy. And also he gave Matheus Reis a slap. And the funniest thing about that is when he slapped Matheus Reis, and Matheus Reis turned and went like that, you just see them all scutter. And it's just like, if that doesn't sound
Otavio?
in general. No, the ball boys. One of them slapped him.
The ball boy. Oh, yeah, slapping around.
And he just went like that, and they all fucking went back. But, like, I don't. Porto said they were like subcontractors, like they're not a part of the team. They're hired externally, blah blah blah. And like, I don't know how football works in that aspect, but I assume it would be Porto will hire these people. And if this is the case, Porto should suspend them for life, not just being a match official, but from the stadium. In my opinion,
it's still unclear to me like what even their job is, because they're not like security staff, are they? Or are they security staff? Some people are saying they're the ball boys. It's like ball boys are like 10 years old. I saw a picture of this guy. He's like 35. He's a grown ass man, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So they weren't stewards. I know that for a fact because stewards wear yellow, right?
Yeah. So it's like, what the fuck is he?
The only thing I think, do you know when Sporting play, they have the people like hold the flags and they've got like bibs and
yeah. So he's
maybe
just
something
like
that.
on-field festivity shit, or just like they run. You know how they put the tarp on, then they run and take it off, that type of shit. Okay, possible, yeah.
Yeah. So in all, when I get the tweet up and I find it, reported by Pedro Spadua first, who is, if you don't follow him on Twitter, by the way, good follow. Transfer news, everything. He reports that Palhinha gets suspended for 3 games, if I'm correct. I'm just trying to find the correct.
Yeah, it's 3, and Marchesín 2, I think.
Yeah, Palhinha 3, Marchesín 2. Even though,
which means Palhinha misses the Porto game for the cup.
Yes,
leg 1.
And I will say, Palhinha slapped him in the face. That is completely fair enough. I will say a 3-game suspension.
It seemed like more of a poke in the face, or like an eye poke or something.
Like a Ric Flair eye poke from back in the day.
Yeah, I feel like that's more that than a slap. But yeah, you can't. It's putting his hands in his face, you know.
Yeah, so there was that. Pepe, who was like we said, kicked Hugo Viana, suspended indefinitely, but suspended by
no
torso
cameras,
himself,
yet to see. We've only seen like torso up angles of that. I would love to see the Pep kick underneath, because it definitely happened. Like, it definitely happened. It's one of these angles with like a circle and they zoom in. Like, it's gonna come out one of these days, like some angle that we haven't seen yet, because I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, so Palhinha 3 games. Tabata suspended until further notice. So that will be done. That's only for domestic competitions. That's why we saw him play yesterday. And then Coates 1-game suspension, which I don't know why they're upholding, to be honest. But what were your thoughts on the suspension in general with Coates and Palhinha? I know we touched on it just a bit there, but are you saying they're fair suspensions? I think the only one I look at and say fair is Palhinha, to be honest.
For me, do you think Marchesín and Palhinha should be getting the same suspension? Do you think their offenses are equivalent? Yo, Juicebox, send me a DM about that. I have no idea what that is, but I'm very interested.
But so I don't include Tabata in that one, because obviously that's an investigation. That's different. That's fine. But like Palhinha, yeah, I would say Palhinha and Marchesín. I only saw Palhinha slap him. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see Marchesín. I know he was probably talking, but I didn't see any sort of aggression. Well, there must have been to get a 2-game suspension, but did you see anything
Marchesín?
Yeah.
I think he kicked somebody or shoved somebody. I think Palhinha responded to whatever he did first. Because after Palhinha does it, they are not together again, you know? So I think it might have been, maybe it was something related to Pep being on the ground or something. I think it was one of the initial things. Yeah. But yeah, it fucking sucks, man, for him to miss that game. But also, bro, well, I guess we'll talk about it. Like, is Palhinha out of form? Like, is Ugarte starting that game? He started this game. Like, it's not like it's
I actually had a theory as well, because it's pretty much confirmed by Record and Abola, who are the two, like, okay, Ojogo hasn't said anything, I don't know, but that Palhinha's gone in the summer, pretty much. We've sold him, and Ugate's probably, or Ugarte Bragança, you assume it's going to be Ugarte. He's going to
he'll be sold for 30 million to Wolverhampton Wanderers on, like, June 1st.
Which is upsetting, because then I can't support him, because I cannot stand that club for obvious reasons.
Maybe he'll go somewhere else so we can keep rooting for him. But there's got to be at least a 35% chance he goes to Wolves.
Let me go to like an Arsenal, a United, maybe like something like that.
It'd be great if he went to United.
Yeah,
but I think Ronaldo might bounce because he's gonna come here, right? So,
yeah, wishful thinking, I think. But so there was one other thing I want to talk about as well, and it's actually James reminded me of it. Did you think that Taremi fouled Fadal?
no.
I agree. I think it's definitely a physical jump. But
however, Fadal does get kicked in the face on the play when he scoots his ass into the field. That should have been a foul. And then they got the corner kick and the Pep clearance off the line from Pelinha. That shouldn't have happened. It should have been a foul.
He got kicked in the face by Inacio, to be fair.
Really? It was Inacio?
Yeah, Inacio went to clear the ball and cleared it and then kicked Fadal in the face.
Oh my god, I didn't even know. I just saw him get kicked in the face. I assumed it was the Porto player.
No.
Because the Porto player is sticking his leg in there too, right?
Yeah. The one I thought was a foul. Like, I've not seen any replay.
I don't think the Fadal one is a foul because I don't think Taremi's arm is extended. I think Taremi is obviously coming for like, if you're attacking the ball versus you're backing into it, you're gonna be able to like jump higher, get the momentum more. And his arm's literally against his body, and then the arm that's against his body hits Fadal in the back of the head. It's like, what is the man supposed to do? He can't do anything. He's supposed to put his arm behind his back and jump with his arms behind his back. Like, it's unreasonable. He literally did what he could. But if his arm's like this, it's a different story. But it wasn't. It was against his body.
The one thing I thought was a foul, I've not seen any more replays about it since it happened. But on that counter attack where they went and scored, I'm sure Slimani got fouled up the pitch because I think they dispossessed him from behind and pushed him over. And I was sure that was a foul at the time. And when they were looking at the VAR, that's what I thought they were looking at. But it was actually the elbow, which I didn't see at first.
Yeah.
But did you
I'll go back and look at that. I don't recall. I'll have to go back and look at that.
But yeah. There is... Okay. So, Verandas, at the end of the game, had his phone destroyed or lost or thrown by members of the Porto Mafia. He allegedly...
So how do you think it went down? Do you think they slapped it out of his hand and then kicked it away? Or do you think they grabbed it and ran?
I think they grabbed it and just threw it.
Or do you think they spiked it, a big scuffle ensued, and they just forgot about it type thing, you know?
I think they must have thrown it. They must have taken it and just thrown it as far as they could.
Do you think someone picked it up and just, like, obliterated it?
Yeah, like, what's it called in NFL? Like they spike it.
Yeah, spiking.
Yeah, like that. But he allegedly, because I don't want to be sued either, allegedly, it was the team of Sergio Conceição, Vitor Bahia, the guy from Porto TV, and the guy got choked, which again his name forgets. But like, this will only happen in Portugal. If this was the game between United and City, Spurs, Arsenal, I would even say Celtic and Rangers, which is like one of the most fierce rivalries in the world. Even like a River Plate Boca Juniors, this shit does not.
Sometimes this shit happens in like South America. Sometimes still.
I know it is crazy over there, like people bringing guns and shit. So maybe that was too far.
But the other ones I agree with.
We've also got one that was sort of swept under the rug. Braganta left his watch in the locker room and was unable to recover it.
Like a Rolex or something, dude.
Or like an Apple Watch or something like that. But like, I think so. For that one, we can't say it was stolen because he forgot it. Like,
yeah,
that's on him.
But it's definitely been sold.
Yeah,
it's been sold, or like I saw someone reply to the tweet, and said like a janitor is rocking a brand new watch right now. And like, yeah, that's probably a realistic possibility too.
And pretty much the last thing, which is I think it's going to take a bit, is us speaking about.
I just want to say I want to just say that. Oh, what were you gonna say? Well, because I was gonna say
Verandas' post-game comments.
Yeah, there was just one part of that I didn't appreciate, but I guess
go on, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, so, like, do I disagree with like the sentiment of what he's saying? Like, this is how it's been for 40 years. These guys, this is how they act, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I don't disagree with that. But like, I don't want anyone to get it twisted that the entire thing, it's like, all right, bro, like his advisors, the people that he's like talks to, that he trusts, he's like, all right, you're going to go in there, you're going to rip Porto, you're going to rip the refs, and then you're going to storm out after 40 seconds, right? Like, it's not like it's all planned out, right? Not saying that he didn't execute it well or whatever, but like it was all planned out. But what the thing that he said about the ball boy incident with Mateus Reis, where he's like, and these guys are going to be coming to Alvalade in like a month or whatever, or we'll be coming back here in a month or whatever. If they want to put members of the clocks as ball boys or, stewards, go for it. Which is just, it's a veiled shot at the clocks, trying to say that the guy who shoved Mateus Reis is like an undercover clock member. That's why he's down there. Obviously, he's acting violent because you know how all clock members like to act violent. So it's just like, dude, why do you need to say that, man? Why do you need it? Just I don't appreciate that, bro. It's like it's a comment meant to just piss off me and members of the clocks and other people who think like that, but it's just annoying, dude. It's like, we're ripping Porto, good. We're ripping Porto, we're ripping the ref, okay. And now we got to shit on the clocks too. Why?
Yeah, I thought that when he said it as well, but I like you said, the overall sentiment I agree with, saying that, like, I mean, what annoys me, right? This is where I'm going to go a bit of a rant. He says all this shit about Pinto da Costa being a bandit and being in control for 40 years and like this is what we're used to. Then why did you help them get out of debt when we gave them Rodrigo Fernandez and we?
Why did you sit in the box an hour ago? You were sitting in the box.
Literally, just if you're gonna say something, I don't know what, like, if they have to sit there, because I know he's done it with Rui Costa and other presidents before, but like the main thing I have, you helped the so-called bandit. The way I see it, if you work with a bandit, you become a bandit. If I help someone steal, like if I help someone who's a thief,
it just comes across a lot cheaper. It's like, yeah, we can properly identify that people are bandits. But then if you just are chilling with them, it's like, what? Wait, what is that? What's up with that, man? What are you then?
I don't understand why he couldn't have done that deal with like any other team. Like, even I hate to say it, like Benfica would probably be a better one to do that with, or like, can't we do it with like a Guimarães or a Famalicão or just something like that?
I mean, Guimarães did it with Porto, so Guimarães was looking to do it. Why couldn't we just have done it with Guimarães, right?
Yeah, but and the last thing I personally want to touch on is, so after the game, Conceição, Pinto da Costa, blah, 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 blame the referees, last year, Basta, whatever. And I just find this is for Steph as well, because I feel like if he was here, he'd say it. It is so rich from a team who was, let's say, okay, found innocent of a Peter Dorado, even though there was evidence, loads of it, recordings of it, to talk, but saying people are bribing referees or referees aren't on your side is so stupid and so crazy that a team like that, especially a team with thugs like Pepe, Otavio.
And here's another thing, Sam. It'd be different if it was like, okay, bro, that happened, but that was 20 years ago. It's like, it's the same motherfucking people in charge. Nothing happened to them, and they're all still there. So it's literally the same people. That's why, it just makes it even crazier.
They got a points deduction, even though the league was already won. Like, not mathematically, but it was already won. They got a points, that was it, 6 points or something like that, for fixing Portuguese football for how long? 10, 15, 20 years? 6 points? Is that all it was worth to use 6 points? And like, when you look at match fixing scandals,
dude, Derby County got a 21-point reduction this season for like finance mishandling.
But like, even like you could say, oh, they never demote Porto because they bring in so much income. Serie A demoted Juventus, who's one of the most successful teams in Italy, because they did that. Fair enough, it was the Serie B when it should have been like C or D.
Benfica's are getting themselves, by the way, into the exact same situation, because seems like there's documented evidence of like wiring money and conversations with referees.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? Probably something similar to Peter Dorado. They're gonna lose like 6 points this season when like they're already out of everything.
or they'll just sweep it under the rug, like emails
Yeah.
and vouchers and giving gifts
Yeah.
to referees were. But like, Porto just infuriate me because they are the most corrupt team. Anyway, what I was saying was like they relegated Juventus, who's the most successful team, one of the most, and then that made news. Still makes news today when people talk about it. Everyone knows of the Calciopoli scandal. But if you say, "Oh, if you heard about the Porto scandal," to anyone who like remotely likes football, they're like, "No, what's that?" Because it was so swept under the rug.
They largely got away with it. Yeah,
they got away with it. The league covered for them. The government covered for them. It's just like, and then they're like, "Oh, the refs are against us," and like, Pinto da Costa, mate, you literally bribe referees with prostitutes and money. Like, anyway, rant over. I don't know if you wanted to add anything on.
No,
on
it's a good rant. I agree with everything.
But I agree with this comment as well. Just zero. They literally, the Porto Mafia is a great way to describe them because they're all think they're tough guys. What it reminds me of like online people who like talk shit online and then
they're all. They're all hold me back, bros. You know.
Even Pepe is supposed to be like a hard nut. Every time you look at him, he'll get aggressive for 2 seconds. As soon as someone makes contact with his head, down.
Dive.
Like,
yeah, he's an aggressive. He gets aggressive to draw the dive.
Just an add on that rant. How many Porto fans just do not acknowledge if either ever happened? And like, this is what, again, I'm going back to it, but like, you can trace back every single success Porto's had over the last 20 odd years, including that Champions League, to Peter Dorado. Because if you don't win the leagues, you don't get the money to buy the players they did. Deco, like I can't remember who they bought, but like they had an expensive squad. All those players they bought was because of corrupt dealings, and even before that, league titles they won because of corrupt dealings. Everything could be traced from what up till, was it 2011 or like 2010? Was that when it was sort of tough time?
Yeah, I would say because around there. I would definitely say for sure mid 2000s for sure.
Yeah, so like Juventus, they had every like trophy they had like gone, but the league still recognised Porto as being the most successful club. But you have to look at it because they cheated is why they're there. Like I said, the Champions League, everyone Porto talks about. Oh, we won the Champions League in 2004, but you don't mention the scandal that pretty much won that for you. And like, I'm not going to. Obviously, it's a great achievement winning Champions League, and they had a great team. But how much of it can you trace back to match fixing? Because it is. You get money for winning leagues. You get revenue for winning leagues. You get advertisements, commercial dealings. You get more clubs interested in your players because it looks like they do better. But it always linked back to that, and I just cannot stand Porto if you couldn't already tell. But
it's a terrible victim complex that really makes them like really, really annoying. And like weirdly, like unwarrantedly self-righteous. It's like,
but in terms of the actual game, let's get back to that. Who was your man of the match for Sporting's team, at least?
I thought Sarabia had a good game. Paulinho had a good game for sure. But I think I gave my last man of the match to Sarabia, so I'll give it to Little Paul. Scored a goal.
Yeah,
played well.
I'm torn between Paulinho and I thought Nuno Santos played really well, especially on the second goal. Like the build-up play in general was just fantastic, but like that finish as well is much more difficult than he made it out to be.
So was the touch from Sarabia to cut it back first time.
Yes.
Well, on a full sprint.
Like I said, I was also impressed with Esgaio, but I'm not going to give him man of the match because I don't think he was worth that.
He had a stinker yesterday, but he was solid against Porto.
Yeah, so I will go with. I'll actually go with Paulinho as well, just because I love him too much. But that actually is another draw, which makes us. The last time there was a definitive winner in the league was July of 2020, and that's when Porto beat a newly presented Amorim, if I'm correct. And and that was the last time they beat us. So nearly 2 years to the day. Well, let's say 1.5 since they've beaten us. We've beaten them obviously in Taça Liga and Taça Portugal, but in terms of league, Amorim still cannot beat Porto with a Sporting team. But hopefully that will come. That is it for this year. You have to wait till next season to, if Amorim is even still here, by the way.
I think he will be.
I mean, I hope so, but like you have to remember that Man United
it's possible. It's always
for a manager.
Possible. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, let's move on from that game because we've got an unfortunate game to talk about, and that is a 5-0 thumping that we had yesterday against Manchester City. Which what's making me laugh about this goal point image right here is that
the man of the match. Yes, dude, it's so funny. It's funny. Dude, no one has like above a 4 or 5. And he just like wasn't on the field to get his score low enough, so he just won man of the match.
So in goal, Adan Court, and then we have Coates, Inacio, Matheus Reis, Ricardo's Guy, Matheus Nunes, Paulinho, Porro, Pedro Gonçalves, who is back from injury, Sarabia and Paulinho. You got a Tabata Slimani, and for some reason Neto in the 82nd minute came on. But Chris, I mean, there's not really much to say, but what were your thoughts?
It sucked, and it sucked because it just felt like we didn't even put up the fight that this game warranted. They were, pedestrian for Manchester City, and they're just scoring. They're just free scoring. Coates is making it like he's losing his footing on the grass. Like they're getting like a free goal. They're getting like a marginal offsides call to go their way. Yeah, I mean, it's just really tough when like everything is going your way. Basically, in a game where you needed everything to go right, everything went wrong. So far from where it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree.
We didn't really reach the goal that much.
Yeah, like there was that first chance that I've not seen it since.
The first 5 minutes, and the almost chance, the ball from Sarabia to Esgaia, who maybe if he slides, maybe extends.
Because I've not seen a different angle of that. Because believe it or not, the other 5 goals trumped a maybe Sporting goal. But like when I first saw it, I was like, if he extends his foot, I'm sure that's like, obviously we see it from a different camera angle.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if he just extends his foot, it's on target at least. But yeah, obviously, I don't think anyone expected us to win realistically, and like. That like for some people, like people will say, "Oh, you can never expect to lose." To me, it doesn't make you any less of a fan if you're saying, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to." This is, in my opinion, the best team in Europe. The best team, one of the best Premier League teams of all time. When you look at it, if you look at player by player and manager, one of the best Premier League teams of all time. Now, currently, I'm pretty sure they're running away with the Premier League at the moment. No one even looks close.
They have like a 10-point advantage.
I think the only time they lost was to Crystal Palace, which was like a 2-0. That was like the only time they've lost. And I mean, they are a great team, but I think people I didn't expect to win, but I also didn't expect to lose by 5.
And just show nothing at any point.
Yeah, maybe that's
and show less than nothing at some points.
Yeah, the thing is, right? I didn't even think the first half. I know we conceded 4. But I genuinely don't think we played that bad. My gripe was with the pitch. How many players were slipping? But it only seemed like our team was slipping. Coates slipped on the 3rd goal. So did Matheus Reis. Inacio slipped. Inacio took a shot to the nuts, by the way, on that 3rd or 4th goal.
Yeah.
Like, so many players were slipping. I don't know if... I don't think it was raining. So you can't even use that excuse. But I don't know, like... They've been talking about renovating the pitch, and they've done it like twice already this season. But whatever they've done,
Sport Relva, fuck you.
Yeah, they've just kept slipping all over the place. But in terms of individual performances, I generally just thought it was Pedro Porro and 10. Matheus Nunes had some standout moments, but I don't think he was that. I generally don't think it was worth like everyone was saying. Like,
what did Pep Guardiola say? He's the best midfielder in the world right now, or something like that?
No, he said he is. I can't remember what he said. He's an exceptional player. I saw everyone say he's the best in the world. I saw the post-match interview. He didn't say it. He just said he's an exceptional
it's just
player.
a bad translation. You're just getting spread.
Yeah, he said it in English as well, which was weird because obviously the guy who interviewed him was Portuguese. But
yeah,
he said he was an exceptional player. But I don't think he played amazing. And I'm looking like Adan. I thought was obviously we mentioned before the goal that was offside.
Adan was poor, man.
I don't think he was that bad. The fourth goal, Sterling's goal. Actually, that might have been the fifth. Sterling's goal, no chance. I don't care who's in net, not being saved. But
even on the Coates goal, he doesn't look great, and he's also conceded a shocker on the Bernardo Silva goal that they've luckily ruled out for offside. They had 6 shots on target at 5 goals. If that Bernardo Silva goal stands, it's like 7 on 6. If you're looking goal, that it's just not a good look. Obviously, the Sterling goal is a banger. The deflection kind of leaves him helpless, but
even the Bernardo Silva second goal, I don't think it's his fault either.
Like what we said, like I said earlier, if we're gonna come up with a result here, or like make this a game, he needs to have 6 big saves. I don't think he had any today. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. But I thought the Sterling goal had no chance. I thought
and it's like we've seen him, bro. We've seen him. But I saw people saying recently that we have conceded a lot of goals recently. And we've definitely gone through stretches where we've been like, yo, we just 10 game stretches, concede like 1 goal, 2 goals. Last season even.
Yeah. It's like he's good with like difficult shots, but the ones that he should be saving are the ones that usually are the ones that go in for him.
He used to scare me with his feet. He almost never scares me with his feet anymore.
Yeah. But I thought Sterling's goal, he had no chance to save him. But I just saw the second goal, or the first one, which was on the volley. I don't think he had a chance in hell. That was just a massive strike. And that was the one goal I didn't think anyone was at fault for either, just because, and the Sterling one, obviously. But, like, I didn't think we played awful, but Pot was so bad. The chances we had.
He got like one chance on a break, and it's like he opted to try to take one more guy on instead of just ripping it. And then we got nothing out of it.
He literally just could have shot, and instead he tried to take on Ruben Dias, who is one of the best defenders in the world. who, by the way, he was already past. Like he was past there, and then he just turned back into him. And just like Pot was awful. 4.1, no way. Like, I know Sarabia didn't do much, but Pot was just so bad. And ever since that Dortmund game, he's been so bad. And like.
I've mostly been a defending Pot guy, but I don't know. I officially don't think I can defend him anymore.
Yeah, James.
He's out of form. He's in a funk. Something needs to happen.
In a big game, right? Why are you testing Esgaio at left back when he's not played there before for us?
It's incredible to me. I know that he doesn't trust Vidal as much this season, but it's crazy that he doesn't trust him, like, seemingly at all. Or Neto.
Well, it's not even Vidal. It's Nuno Santos. It's even Vinagre, man. I feel like would be a better fit than Esgaio. At least he's an actual left back, and he's played against Premier League teams before. He's not just a random. Like Esgaio.
I mean, where could Esgaio? Would it have been different if Esgaio was on the right side?
Maybe, because. No, some of the crosses he did was with his left foot, but he's not left-footed, so they're never going to go anywhere. But like Nuno Santos being there, even Vinagre, Matheus Reis put there.
He did play great against Porto. He just played great against Porto at left wing back, Matheus Reis, and that for me that is the reason why it's like Matheus Reis is playing well, dude, at that position. So it's like, why do you need to change it? Because you don't trust the center back that much? Damn,
the only other reason I think he could have changed it was
it's crazy. You gotta play someone out of position because you don't trust Vidal and Neto that much. That's kind of crazy to me. In a massive game.
Yeah, the only other reason I
I
thought
don't
he
know.
might
I
have
mean,
played
Fidel and Neto are definitely sketchy in their own right, and they would have been in this game too in certain moments, I'm certain. But like, he's
Yeah.
not even in his regular position, and he's not even. He's been in very up and down form recently as well. To top it off, this guy hasn't been a world beater recently. He played decent against Porto, as we just mentioned, but like, he's been the target of a lot of ire recently for sure, and rightfully so. Often.
Yeah, definitely more downs than ups, I would say. But the only reason I think Amorim might have played him there, it was his 400th appearance as a professional footballer. And that is the only other reason I could think that Amorim was like, okay, go and get your 400th appearance and make it a good one. But now his 400th appearance is a 5-0 beating where I would say he was the worst. Him and Pot were the worst players on the pitch. I don't count Adan that much because Adan was let down mostly by his defenders. But just like his 400 appearances, him getting smacked on a big stage, and like I don't think that's something he's gonna look back on. But
No.
just that whole team selection,
You're gonna get that appearance, like.
Yeah, even Pot coming back, right? I know he said that he like begged Amorim to come back, and he was like with the medical staff like day in day out. Just give Marcus Edwards any minutes. Give him to Battersman.
I know.
Minutes,
this is another thing that really bothered me. It's like we're down 5-0. There's 30 minutes left. None of this matters. Like, let the boy get some running. Like, fuck, dude. And it's like, oh, he's not ready. He doesn't have the chemistry. It's like, well, go build some.
How's he gonna get it?
Go get some right now. None of this matters,
Yeah, I tweeted about that saying like there's clearly not a plan for him. And I know people saying, "Oh yeah, it's till Sarabia leaves." Okay, Sarabia's not leaving until June. What till then?
He's not gonna play. He's not allowed to play until June. Jeez.
And people saying, "Yeah, look at your guy. It took ages. Your guy took 3 months to like actually get some good minutes. So what, we're gonna have to wait till what, April for Mark Silvers to actually like play a game, like a full 90, or like come off the bench? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's a plan to me to bring him in because he goes with Tabata. And like you can say, Tabata.
I know, and Tabata, it's like, bro, is Tabata gonna be able to play at all the rest of the season?
He might be
he's gonna play this game, and he's gonna play this game, and he's gonna play the return leg, and that's it, the rest of the season. So why does he need minutes then?
Not even that, but like I'm gonna be honest, right? A lot of people like Tabata. I do not see the hype. He's had.
I like him, but I don't think he's better than Edwards or worth playing in this game.
I think he's the worst winger we have. I think Nuno Santos is better than him. I think Edwards is better than him. Obviously, Sarabia and Pot, I think, are better than him.
What about guys like Jovan and stuff like that?
Okay, yeah. I don't really count him because he's not here anymore. But okay, I'd say he's better than Jovan, but I just don't rate Tabata that much. And like. I can't remember.
He has his moments. He has his moments, but yeah, I feel like when he's on, he's on. But the way he gets minutes, it's like it doesn't really allow for him to like get on that much. He's just coming on every once in a while. You're not really going to build that much rhythm doing that, so it's not like you can even really build rhythm, anyways.
I mean, it was literally just another Slimani performance, by the way, of him just coming on, not doing anything. Like, I mean, I know. Man
of the match, dude. You're talking about the man of the match right
now. But like, I don't know what to say because obviously he's not played a lot, and like he's always come off the bench. But both times he's looked absolutely shit.
What did you make of like Paulinho today in this game?
I don't think I'd like. Norman's good.
Nah, it's tough, but he definitely was underwhelming in my eyes.
I don't think there's much he could do just because I don't think Matheus Nunes helped him that much. The defense was shocking. Coates especially really let me down in that game. I thought he did not. He's from the get-go, he seemed just like not there. And even like when I know, obviously I don't know what goes on the bench, but you look at the images when Pot came off, stone faced, didn't really care. Same with, I think, Paulinho. Porro came off and he was pretty much in tears. And I was just like, I mean, it shows because he was the only one trying, I thought. Not even Matheus Nunes, who everyone says. Porro was
poor. I mean, he was losing the ball. He wasn't, he got a couple good crosses in first half, but like, this wasn't a good Porto game, but yeah, you could tell he was at least battling.
Yeah.
I thought Mateus Nunes was battling as well.
Mateus Nunes does this thing where it looks like he's battling, but it's just him going on a run, and eventually just losing the ball.
Also, this is also something I know. They have a couple players out of position, don't they?
Yeah,
Like
Stones.
John Stones doesn't typically play outside back, right?
Yeah, only because Kyle Walker
doesn't usually play, and Cancelo usually doesn't play on the left.
Yeah, Cancelo plays on the left now. Cancelo for the last season has been.
Oh, he's been playing on the left now.
Yeah, they've been doing Kyle Walker right and Cancelo left back.
Okay. So I guess it's just Stones, but it's like that's also the side that Esga's on. So it's like, damn, bro, like.
Well, they don't even have a recognized striker, really. I know it says Foden, but like he's not a striker.
Yeah, it was kind of like a false nine.
And just like.
But they just kind of rotate. Like De Bruyne drifts out wide. They just like are free flowing. You know, they're a good fucking team. You know, good teams can do that. You know, they just like they know where each other are, so they can just kind of like drift where the space is. You know.
And Amorim, why bringing Neto in the 82nd minute? If he did it at half time, right? Understandable.
What about the first sub was Ugarte to shore up the defense, you know? Or to pack it in.
And who was it for?
He took off Pot for Ugarte. Yeah, it was Pot for Ugarte was the first sub, and I was like, damn, dude.
And then Mateus Nunes went right wing.
This is just a fucked up game. Then that dude, yeah.
It was literally just like
dude, honestly, basically like inexplicable subs. So Slimani does it. It's fine, honestly. This game, because it's the fuck it doesn't matter mentality. Let him get some run, but there's no reason Edwards should have gotten some run. Even Bragança, man, hasn't played in feels like weeks. Like, just let people play in this game. Like, what the fuck?
This guy who stayed on the whole time, like, didn't come off. He was there the
poisoning
whole time.
Our eyes.
Like, it's Vinagre was on the bench. Would he really like?
Yo, now we're getting another cap. We're fucked, dude. I mean, because it's like even if Vinagre, like if you just like are like fuck it, let's just put Vinagre in. It's like he plays well and then he like gets in a good run of form. Dude, we cannot pay $10 million for 50% of his pass. Like, even if he gets in good form for like 4 games, like I don't care. He's not worth it, you know.
Yeah.
So our hands are just so tied with him. I feel like.
We're gonna still speak about the game, but we're gonna move on to some of the Twitter questions because I'm not gonna lie, most of them were about City more than the Porto game. So let me just get it up. We got Lauren first and goes, what were the biggest lessons that Amorim would have learned from the City leg, the first leg against City, sorry, and will he use those lessons to help grow the team and improve further? To me, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, like there is no lesson to be learned here. Like, okay, the Esgaia one, yeah, that's a lesson, but like, I don't know why. Like, no one knows why. It's just him being stupid, I guess, or stubborn, whatever. I'm trying to think because, like, obviously it would be Esgaia versus Mahrez, right? And Mahrez, don't get me wrong, isn't the quickest, but he's got skills and he's a skillful player. And I'm pretty sure he burnt Esgaia every single time. Surely you'd want someone like Nuno Santos who will get stuck in and will literally like kick him and like fair enough, I get yellow card in the first 10, 15 minutes, but will just be someone who like dribble past me again and I'm going to break your leg. That's what I would imagine what Nuno Santos would be like against Mahrez.
Yeah. Which at least would have been like show. Something that I thought was desperately lacking, like the intangibles, you know?
Yeah. So basically, Lawrence, to answer your question, no. Like,
and it's a lesson. It's a lesson that he would have, in theory, already learned when he's taken another shellacking earlier in the season, right?
Exactly, and like he just never changes formation. The perfect time to change the formation would have been straight away. Like, I hate seeing players come off before halftime, right? But if you're 2-0 down, you've got to be like, or 3-0 down, you've got to be like, okay, something's not working. So it's got to be either you bring off a centre back for a striker or a winger, or just change formation entirely. Just
throw a third midfielder in there. Something. You gotta do something, dude.
Yeah. Next question is from Lauren as well. Should any changes be made to the starting 11? Do you think? Well, obviously the suspension we'll get into like the preview.
It's very easy in hindsight to say that as guy who should not have played left back, and he should have ridden with Fidal and Race at left wing back.
Come on, though. Not even in hindsight, just in general.
Yeah.
When the news was leaked, because it was leaked by a baller actually in the morning, who said that he was going to start there, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
At fucking training or something. They got a drone at
Yeah, I'll tell you, a ball off the scoops as well. They were first to report Slimani, even though they said it was a done deal when it wasn't. But they were the first to report it, and now this. So maybe Abala's the new record.
Is Abala? Did they get a new? Maybe they hired a new journalist to do sporting stuff, who's got more connections or something.
It could be.
Because Abala, yeah, we used to meme on Abala for just being just 100% just all fabricated stories about Sporting. But yeah. Recently.
But basically, the question I want to ask from this is: would you drop Pot right now?
I think that he just should have probably not come into this game and not rushed it. And yeah, but now you can't drop him because then you'll completely shoot his confidence. You have to keep playing him, especially against Estoril, and just hope that he can figure it out.
Yeah, and
they won their first game in 2 months. Last weekend, so I guess they're riding somewhat high, but it's not a team that is they started out well, but they're not world beaters,
Yeah. Paul Rodriguez is pretty much the same question which we just answered, but do you think Amorim's preference of 3-4-3 is too predictable now, especially for teams looking at a game plan?
What? Fuck.
Sorry, did I lag out there? Yeah. You're back.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely predictable. I feel like who's always gonna play striker. Some other wingers. I feel like if you're game planning for Sporting, there's how Jesus would sometimes do a surprise, quote unquote, start a Rafael Leão or do something weird, start went through midfield.
I remember he started Matheus Pereira against Porto, and it's his first ever game in the centre mid.
Yeah, I feel like Ruben Amorim's not a manager for that, and I think we're pretty predictable to plan for. I mean, obviously it's still difficult to beat us, but what we're gonna do.
Yeah. And who do you think is the players going to be missed the most from the suspensions? I would say it's got to be Coates.
Yeah.
Even because as much as I love Paulinho, don't get me wrong, I think you guys more than capable of just coming in and just.
Ugarte can come in. Tabata we have replacements for. Race, we would miss Race though if he's suspended.
Yeah,
because then you gotta go as Gaio again at left back. You gotta go as Gaio.
I mean, most of the other questions of this, we've been through Porto, we've been through the punishments, been through City. The approach we've been through. There was one question I'm pretty sure I missed. Let me check. Yeah, Andrew, a bit off topic, but do you think Benfica will catch us?
I don't think so.
Can it happen?
I don't think so.
Yes.
It could happen. It could certainly happen.
Especially
all it takes is the tide to turn a little bit more, but I don't think that the tide has turned that significantly. We still have a 2-game advantage, 4 points, right? We still play, right? Again. I'm not. In my mind, I'm still chasing the title. Not securing second. Obviously, that could change on any of these weekends, but in my eyes, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you can go 2 ways. You either come back from this 5-0, and you come back against Estoril fired up and like ready to come back and like beat them, or it goes the other way where it's just, you know, the players are dejected. Amorim's sort of lost his head, and players lost his head, and it goes on to like a losing streak, which I think the mentality of the squad is better than that, but you just never know. You just never know. Like especially.
I mean, based on their posts and stuff, it seems like they're in the right headspace.
But do you reckon it's them posting, or is it like PR, like a player's PR? Or...
some of them it is, but overall, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest.
I mean,
think the
lot of the
messages
were the same.
Like, think about a club who's got like just a locker room that's in just such shambles, like Manchester United or something. Like, I don't think that there's a massive locker room divide or something. I don't think anyone's lost confidence in Amorim. I don't think there's like a player rift. Yeah. If anything, they just feel pressure on them now, right? Because there's like, we're still chasing Porto. We had a good opportunity. We blew it, sort of. We were kind of unlucky, obviously, but we didn't get it done. And yeah, we got shellacked against a top club in the world, but we didn't really even put our best foot forward either. So yeah, for me, at least not yet. That's not a fear of mine.
That's fair enough. And to me, Man City I reckon they could do that to like 90% of teams. I'll even say like 95% of teams in world football in general, that they could beat 5-0, 6-0, 4-0. Like, I just wanted to see a bit more, because you pretty much, as soon as the first goal went in, you knew, you could just tell that it was going to be more than one.
There's a 5-minute review, and then it's after the review, it's just the letdown.
Which I could have sworn De Bruyne was offside. I could have sworn it. And I still see it. I'm like, he's still offside. Like,
I know. Dude, after the shot, his foot is literally like, he's out of bounds partially. It's like, fuck. But I guess that doesn't matter if he's offside on. It's the one before that he's, I guess, marginally onside, but on.
Yeah. And okay, in terms of the actual performance in the game, we'll move on. But in terms of the actual, I wanted to touch on a controversial topic, which is, I know me and you disagreed with it in the chat yesterday. You were saying that cheering and like showing support at a 5-0 is just a bit like, it just wasn't for you. This is not what you would do. And I disagree, saying it was a good thing. But like, yeah, what were your thoughts?
I'm more. It's not so much that I. Fuck. Am I back now?
I think you're back. Yeah, you're back.
I literally, when I got up,
I don't know if it's you or me. It could be me.
I think it was me, because I got the little spinning circle. Yeah. Well, what I was saying was, like, I don't think that the team necessarily, like, should it be supported, should it be cheered on. I think that the team should always be supported. I think the team should be always backed. I think that the team should be sold out every weekend. I don't think that there should be 21,000 people average attendance at home. To be honest, for me, I understand that I have a different position on this. I understand wages in Portugal. I understand. But for me, when I see that there's 21,000 people average, and then we play Man City and it's a packed house, it's corny, right? It's a bunch of plastic fans. That's what I think, at least. Who are the 30,000 that close that gap? You're not there every week, and maybe you have good reason to be there. You have a good reason to not be there every week. But for me, it was on the right side of the ocean, I think that, even if it broke the bank, whatever, I think that I'd find a way. And to be honest, I was thinking about it too. Like, the Man City game alone cost like half as much as a game box. So if the excuse is the finances, how are you paying to go to the most expensive game of the season then? Side note, I guess that's not the main point. But yes, the team should always be supported. And And if you boo them after this game, they go into the Estoril game maybe with less confidence. So yeah, clap them off, right? You clap them off every game, right? Clap them off every game. For me, the thing that bothered me more than the clapping itself was just the narrative around it. And then it's just like we're the spirited losers, like Guardian, BBC. I'm seeing international press, brilliant Sporting fans clapping down 5-0. Like we're just the
10 out of 10 for that English accent, by the way. 10 out of 10.
we're just the dudes who get slapped around, but cheer nicely. And it's like, and then I see fans of us just taking that and running with it. And it's like, oh, we're the best. We're the best. It's like, we got fucking smashed and we didn't even play well. We didn't even stand a chance. We didn't even look like ourselves. It's completely dog shit. Saying we're the best fans when 30,000 of these people aren't there every weekend. It's corny and I don't even think it's true, We're not the best fans. 21,000 is not the best fans. Sorry, it's not. I get it. I'm not trying to be like classist or anything. I understand, but I'm just saying the reality of the situation.
Okay, yeah. From the perspective that I see that you've got, I agree to an extent. But like James was saying in the chat, it's just an acknowledgement of the belief. Like no one, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think we'd get to the round of 16. Like I thought we would have, but like saying it will happen and then actually it happening is two different things. And like especially after the 5-0 loss against Ajax, I was like, yeah, there's no way we're gonna come back from that. And miracle we did, and that was the team. And like, okay, I at first when I heard the clapping and I saw the scarves, I was annoyed. But then like you sort of look back on it and like, okay, look how far we've come. We were losing to. We weren't even in the Champions League. We weren't even qualifying in the Europa League like 2 years ago. It's not that far. It's not long gone. And like,
it's not ancient history.
Yeah, exactly. We've gone from there to league champions that's the League of Champions to qualifying into the round of 16 for the last time since 2009. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely looking like another 10-1 or 11-1 result that's coming our way. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, was I impressed with the performance? No, not in a million years. But I think it was good of them to cheer them off. And I agree with what you were saying. The narrative did annoy me as well, where it was like the media running with it and being like, "Oh yeah, it was really good." Like Gary Lineker tweeted it as well, like, "Oh yeah, it's great." But like, I mean, why? It's just difficult to say like, okay, like it is a good thing, but like, I wanted the headlines to be Sporting come close in a loss, or like Sporting hold to draw, not Sporting lose 5-0 and celebrate. But I mean, I liked the celebration. The one thing I disliked, and I know everyone is going to agree with me, and if they don't, I think you're ridiculous, is people filming Bernardo Silva, Ruben Dias, all of these Man City players after they scored. They were Sporting fans. They were wearing the colours. It wasn't their away section, or I saw a tweet today that was like a Benfica fan wearing like a Sporting half and half scarf.
Cringe. That's cringe too, but this is cringe in a different way. Yeah.
They were literally like, you saw like, it was literally, you saw the older generations like looking down, like just like, oh, like what's going on? And you see people just like watching Ruben Dias and Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden and Raheem Sterling. I'm like, put your phones, an ick, whatever it is, like a pet peeve of mine is people being on their games at the game. Like if you're like watching at home, I don't mind like you going on Twitter or whatever or Instagram because I do it. But at the game, it's just like put your phone down and just watch. And like if you want to record our celebrations, fine. But if you're recording an opposite team celebration, I despise you already. Like what's the point? Why are you filming not only Man City but Bernardo Silva, like Lampion? He would admit he admits it himself. Lampion by heart, and you know, don't get me wrong, fantastic player, one of the best in the world, I believe. But I'm not filming him. I'm telling him to fuck off, and I'm booing him like they did. How can you boo Bernardo Silva, but then when he scores, take out your phone and record his celebration? How? Like, how does it make sense? But I don't know if you hold any different opinions to that. But
No. I mean, to me, someone who films Bernardo Silva, a Benfica fan who comes to the game in a Man City jersey, someone who comes to the game with the strict intention of only getting a reserves jersey. There's just a lot of cringe going on right now. And I feel like it's increased recently. Like, it has not always been like this. It is definitely like winning the title, getting like younger fans that, when we just were, finished third. And I understand like our current moment is like leading to like younger fans picking it up for sure. But like, I also think that it's leading to like excess cringe as well, both online and in person.
yeah, like, I mean, I think it was you that sent me the tweet about someone tweeting to Pedro Porro, like, oh yeah, because we lost, send me a shirt. He was like, okay. Like, I mean,
and then Porro agrees to do the shirt, and I guess he's a nice guy, but the shirt thing it is starting to get under my skin. I know Danny's the one who doesn't care about it, but if this keeps up at the same rate and like continues growing, bro, like, I feel like it's gonna start to piss everybody off.
You don't see it any Benfica fans don't do it. Porto fans don't do it. Like, even in the UK, right? Okay, Ronaldo and Messi are two different ones. They're on their own spectrum. If you want to hold up a sign saying Messi or Ronaldo, give me your shirt, fair enough. Like, okay, those are ones you can't get. I'm not saying like I don't want to disrespect any of the reserve players or the sub bench, but when it's like, I don't know, Andre Paulo, please give me your shirt, or João Virginia, give me your shirt, or give me your gloves, or just something like that. It's just like, come on, like, it is cringe, like you said. It's cringe, and it's like, if I'm a player, right, and I like Andre Paulo, right, he's not. I don't think he played once, and that was after we'd won the league to get him a medal. I'm annoyed if someone's like, "Oh yeah, give me your shirt," because they're just surely he knows that like they just want a shirt.
Yeah, they think it's like, a higher odds of getting it because they think less people are asking him.
Like, no one's telling me, "Oh yeah, Andre Paulo is a great goalkeeper." I was like, "How have you seen him? He's on the
he's
bench
literally
time.
He's never played a game for the Singers."
But yeah.
And to be honest, I think that's why this is happening. It's because it's like a definitely like a younger fan, like originated thing, but it is definitely like leaking into other segments of the fan base. And dude, I mean, you could just say that this is just like piecing over cracks and trying to connect dots where they're not there, but I don't want to be a club of packed for big games and like loaded up with signs and people who want to come and see the big game, and then like empty fucking 80% of the other time. Like, that's not a club that I want to be, and I also don't think that's a healthy direction for the club either, or a sustainable one.
Yeah, but like, compared to what it was when I went to Dortmund, I didn't see many people saying like, give me your shirt. There was, I don't know if he had a sign because he was on my right, like directly in the same row, but Thiago Tomas came and gave his shirt. And like, I just like the more like, this is like being stupid. I agree that I'm saying it to be stupid, but like, it's like more organic. Like, when a player, my first memory of a football game, actually, I went to Chelsea versus Ipswich in, I think, 2007 or 2008. And Didier Drogba came to where I was sitting and gave a shirt to like a disabled fan to my left or right. And like, that's an organic moment. And it's like, okay, what a great guy. He came to give his shirt to like one of the, like, I assume.
Or when they go, they're like, all right, I'm giving it to somebody and I'm looking, who am I going to give it to?
Yeah. Or they just like chuck it.
And now, but like, here's how it is. As we just talked about, it is now past that because he's not coming over. Look. He's coming and he's looking to see the person that he fucking was tweeting with, which is like, fuck, that's like, it's not organic at all. It's so far from that at this point,
Yeah.
That's even less organic than just bringing a sign and hoping he sees the sign. You're bringing a sign like saying like you promised this on Twitter. You're like,
yeah, but now, like, what if we lose and she brings that sign? Well, obviously, I'm not planning to lose to Estoril or draw to Estoril. But, like, if she's bringing a sign that says, yeah, give me your shirt, we've just lost to Estoril, does Porro have to give it to her? Is he going to be like some villain if he doesn't? Or is it just going to be like, okay, we lost, you're not getting my shirt? Or, yeah, you're getting my shirt. But either way, it's just like he becomes the villain. Because if he gives them a shirt after a loss, then I think you're a bit... Like, why would I want your shirt when you've lost? If that makes sense. But I don't know if Chris, you still here?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I didn't hear what you said. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I said I'm going to be watching Porro like a hawk after the game to see what happens.
Yeah. Let's move on to pretty much our final thing, and that is the league table. I'll just get it up now. Obviously, after the Porto game, we are still 6 points behind. Benfica only 4 points behind now, so really no room for error on our part. Again, we play Estoril without Paulinho, without Coates, and without Tabata, and potentially without Matheus Reis. But Chris, what are your predictions for that game?
I got us bouncing back and getting a win again. I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be complicated. And yeah, I hope that I know they're giving out free tickets for the Estoril game because you know that Champions League hangover. A lot of people don't usually come or there. We got a shellacking. How likely are they to come to Estoril? If the attendance is still poor despite free tickets, I'm actually concerned. I'm really hoping to see at least 30 to 35,000. Hopefully more. Like, if what the people who are like trying to be the cringe people that are like, this is the best club in the world, best fans in the world, the fans will respond by selling that place out again. At least 40,000 will be there for this game to respond after that 5-0 to root them on. I hope that happens. I really do. But I'm also intrigued to see what happens as well, because I'm not entirely convinced that that's going to happen. But I think we win 1-0, and I think it's a bit complicated, but we get the job done. Little Paul keeps his form in the league hot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a difficult game. I think Estoril, when we last played them, were a difficult opponent. I know you said they only got their they got a win last weekend. They haven't won in like 7 or 8 before that, but like they're still a good team, and like they're still 7th for a reason. And I don't think anyone predicted them to be 7th as well. But they play well. They've got good players.
I think please don't score against us.
Yeah, last game he beat Paulinho, wasn't it? It was him and Paulinho who got into. Was it him and Paulinho? I think he fouled Paulinho, and there was like some shoving or whatever. So I don't know if there's any bad blood still there. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be a difficult game. I'm probably going to go. I'm going to go 2-0, but it's going to be a 2-0 that is like we score like close to the end of the first half and then score like the 90th minute as well.
Yeah,
like a counter attack. And I'll go for Paulinho, and I'll go for a Porro goal as well. But yeah, and then he can give his shirt to said.
He can comfortably give his shirt after a good win that he scored, and no one has to worry.
Exactly. But did you have any loose ends on modalities you wanted to cover?
I actually didn't even do the modalities because I figured we would A, go long, and B, have Aaron here. So I was just like, I'll save it all for the next one.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we've pretty much covered the majority of the loose ends, like Paulinho.
Yeah, I think we have covered the loose ends. But yeah, modalities will be for next time.
Cool. Well, on that
we lost
note,
to Porto on roller hockey. We lost to Porto on roller hockey. 1 in basketball, and ladies footy 1, handball 1. Yeah, critical ones.
Cool. I just want to add that Porto's next game is against Moritz away, which I think will be a difficult test for them.
That's always tough for them. They always struggle there for some reason.
No, I don't even know where they are on the table. They're not top half.
They're in the relegation playoffs.
16th. Oh, yes. Sapinto needs to do us a big favor, really, and take a point off
They
him.
just
I think
lost
if
the
anyone's going
Family
to, it's him.
They just lost the Family 5-0 in their last game, but they won the game before that, like 4-0. So inconsistent.
Yeah, we need Sapinto to come in.
Yeah, we really need a Sapinto masterclass, please, dude.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. Like Petit does for Benfica all the time.
Has that Belgian international gotten any burn yet? I haven't tracked him.
I've not tracked him, to be honest. Did you see the thing about Kelvin for Belenenses?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, be sad.
Be sad, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. They just signed random dude. They were trying to sign like Solomon Kalou. It's just a meme team, dude.
But
It's like
you see
the
what
fakest team
happened
I've
with
ever
Kelvin,
seen.
though?
Oh, is he not coming anymore?
He didn't get registered because the law, I believe, in the league is that they've had to play football within like the last 6 months. Apparently, Kelvin didn't. Or I can't remember exactly, but basically, he's been sent back to Brazil.
Oh my god! So they didn't even sign him.
No, they waited. They waited like 2 days after deadline day as well. If they did it in that window, they would have been fine.
Oh my god, dude! Please get relegated.
But anyway, I think we'll end it there. It's been a good one. Again, sorry for Aaron not being here. Unfortunately, again, not very well, so couldn't come in. Hopefully, he feels better and we can have him on for next week. But I've been Sam. That's been Chris. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud. SoundCloud, I actually didn't realize this, but we actually do get a quite decent amount of viewers.
Yeah, people listen on SoundCloud. I can't see the Spotify, at least not from the non-admin end. So, do we have more on Spotify or SoundCloud?
Spotify isn't great, to be honest. Like
more SoundCloud, YouTube and SoundCloud are the bigger ones.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube ones you can also see us as well, so you can also see like if we have anything up as well. But like, I mean, I think it's like 10 and a list like 10 listeners per Spotify. But like, you can also I'll share like the details with you. But like, you can see like when people click off or like fast forward and stuff. So
yeah,
definitely some metrics in there. But anyway, thank you all for joining us, and until next time, we shall see you later.